Is your sales process dialed in? What kind of a system do you have to make sure you're closing the sales? Hi, I'm Scotty from Ogden Contracting, and today we're going to be talking about how to close a sale. In the 30 years I've been in construction, I have tried every single method for closing sales, and I found some that work and some that just strictly don't work at all. And I've come to a realization that closing the sales is just as important as meeting the client for the very first time. Your clients need a push in the right direction. They're the ones that want to do the renovation. You need to ask for the sale. And we've got some really good systems that we've done here to help communicate how to close that sale, get the job, and start proceeding to make some money. And also giving a good service to your client. The first step in closing the sale is being able to effectively communicate with your owner. This is where the owner tells you exactly what they want, why they need it, and how you can perform as a contractor to deliver those needs. Once you can effectively communicate those needs and desires, you can make a quote or a scope of work where you can now present to the owner and say, when can we get started on your project? Another key point to effective communication is staying on top of the communication with your owners, having a good response to your owners, and understanding their communication style. We'll get into this a little further on here. Step number 2 would be client organization. So what does this mean? Well, everything that the client says, whether it be email or just notes you've taken, they need to go somewhere. So where do they go? They either go into a CRM or they go into some sort of a folder on your computer where not only your office manager can find it, but your operations manager as well. So everyone's on the same page, understanding what steps need to be taken for an effective communication with the owner. Step number 3 is, how do you improve your responsiveness with that client? If a client emails you on Friday, don't wait till next Wednesday to respond. We have a 48-hour rule. It's actually more like a 24-hour rule, but if it goes past 48 hours, you're not going to have the job. The client's just going to say, no, they don't like responding. So it's very, very important to have a response time. When you're in a meeting with a client and you're just closing the meeting, make sure you tell the client when you're going to be meeting next. Give them a date or a time and enter it into your calendar so that they know when to expect the next time they're going to be communicating with you. This helps build trust and will help you close the sale. Another good way to improve your responsiveness is to answer your emails right away. When you get to your computer in the morning or in the afternoon, make sure you're looking at each and every one of those emails, checking your junk mail and checking your others' email, making sure that all the client emails are actually being read and responded to. A good tip that I have is I set up different client folders, and once the email has been read, I will drag it to that client folder so that I know exactly where to find those emails, because they do pile up, and you could have thousands and thousands of emails, and you just need to find one email. And if it's from a particular vendor for a client, you're going to be able to find it in that client's folder. So this is part of the communication and effective responsiveness. And here's another good tip about emails. Your clients aren't your friends. You don't go, hey bud, how are you doing? You want to answer it with a very respectful, dear so-and-so, or hello, or good morning, and then follow it with a, I hope your day is doing well, or I hope things are going well for you. You don't want to get into business right away. I always talk about rapport, business, rapport. So even at the end of your email, you want to say, I hope you have a wonderful day, or when you have a chance, get back to me, and I'd love to talk to you about, your upcoming events. Something along the lines that promotes friendliness, but also touches on all the business aspects. Now, one thing is with emails is you don't want your emails to be a book. Your emails need to be short and to the point. If you're going to have a very short 3-word communication with the owner, sometimes a text message works really good. However, you do not want to send 3-message emails to your owners because you're wasting your owner's time. And you also don't want to send an email that's going to take your owner 10 minutes to read and comprehend, because most people, after 4 or 5 sentences, they get bored. They don't want to read the emails anymore. So keep it short and sweet and to the point. And make sure you proofread your email. When you send your email out, you don't want it to have typos or misspellings or even come off a little harsh. When you read the email back to yourself, you're now audibly listening to how it sounds. And if it sounds like you're coming off aggressive or harsh and not professional, you might need to change a couple words. The final point we should talk about is communication style. Everyone has a different communication style. You want to be able to establish this early on in the relationship with your client. Some clients, they don't like texting. Some clients, they want a phone call. Some clients, they like emails only. And then I like to tell people my communication style. So my communication style, for example, would be if you got 2 or 3 sentences that are to the point, give me a text message. If it's going to be a long-winded explanation of a detail or something you want with some photos, put it in an email, and then send me a text saying that you sent me an email. If I do not respond in a timely manner, give me a phone call and say, hey, I sent you a text regarding me sending an email. If you're going to send me a text message at midnight and wake me up, I would rather that be sent in an email. So there's lots of details that you want to include in your communication style. Now, in your communication style, I've touched on this before, always do rapport, business, rapport. It's about building relationships. We've talked about this in our building relationship blueprint, is you want to be able to build trust with your client, and it's not always about business. They want to have an enjoyable experience working with you. So make sure it's rapport, business, rapport. The last thing I want to touch on is the follow-up. You want to be the last person to respond. If someone sends you a text message, don't leave it empty-handed or just lay in there. You want to respond. Either you could give them a thumbs up, or you could say, I understood, or thank you, some sort of line like that. In an email, you want to say, if you don't have a comment to say, just say, email received, thank you very much. You want to be able to give that back to them so they know that you've read, heard, and understood that email. This builds trust and rapport with your clients. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video today, feel free to like and subscribe, and the link will be in the bio for our blogs.